Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I am back with another case update, and today we are going to be looking into the Namhla case. Please kindly note this is an update video. I will not be going into the story intensively. I have done an extensive 45-minute deep dive into this case. It's currently sitting at around 350,000 views. I highly recommend that you check that out first because, like I said, I'm not going to be going into the story much, although I'll give you guys a 2 to 3 minute refresher for those who've already watch that video. With that said, and without wasting any more time, let's dive into today's video. On today's video, we'll be looking at the status of the case and what the South African Police Services have been doing. We'll also look at how the family is coping. And last but definitely not least, we'll also be looking at what the plans are from this point forward. Please kindly note that because this case is still pending litigation, I have to stress that these are still just allegations because they're yet to be tested in a court of law. With all of that said, and without wasting any more time, let's dive into the story. Namhla MTWA was born on the 19th of June in 1987 in the Eastern Cape. She was raised by her grandmother and later on she moved to Mthatha to join her aunt and uncle in isiDwadwa. Namhla met and started dating 25-year-old Major Bheki Zulu back when she was still 17 years old. The relationship lasted more than 16 years from that point. Namhla's relationship with Major was not all roses. In fact, it was far from it. Major was extremely possessive and controlling over Namhla. He controlled all her movements, all her finances, and all of her physical being. Major was doing all of that while he peddled other relationships while he was still dating Namhla. Although he had met Namhla before he was married, he managed to find someone else, marry that someone while Namhla and him were still in a relationship, and he outright refused for Namhla to break up with him. He insisted that they continue with their relationship even though he had now chosen to marry someone else, and I truly believe this is because he had some sort of an advantage over her. He had started dating her when she was very young. As a result, he had managed to psychologically control her, and when he couldn't, he enforced that control physically by constantly laying his hands on her. If she wasn't doing things the way that he wanted them to be done or the way that he perceived them to be okay, he would lay his hands on Namhla, and this happened over a long period of time. He would tell her what to do and when to do it. She would have to ask for permission from him to go and see her family, her aunt and her cousins. Even if it was just to have dinner, she would be required to ask for permission, and most of the time he wouldn't give that permission. Keeping in mind that at this point Major wasn't staying with Namhla. Namhla was staying alone. Major was staying with his wife and kids at this point, but he had full control of what Namhla was doing and when she was doing it. I'll read through a few WhatsApp messages between Namhla and Major so that you guys are able to see the level of control Major had over Namhla and how manipulative he was. I won't go through a lot of the messages here. Like I already said, I've done an extensive video on this, and I've went through quite a number of messages there, so you can just go and check that out as well. This is a WhatsApp conversation between Major and Namhla. It happened on the 3rd of January 2022. So Namhla messages Major and says, this is around 5:30 in the evening. She says, baby, and then 3 minutes later, she then says, Nana. There's still no reply. About another 10 minutes later, she then sends a message saying, basically meaning, please may I go have supper eSdwadwa. Sdwadwa is where her family home is. And then she says, meaning please. 15 minutes later, Major responds and says, I said on the weekend. Immediately after, she then responds and says, basically meaning, they normally cook today. Basically meaning, please. 5 minutes later, Major responds and says, I'll call you later, I'm busy here. And it was complete silence. This was at 5:06, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 5 to 9. Namhla then checks in. She says, hi baby at 5 to 9, no response. At about 9:45, she then says, hi baby unjani again, basically saying, hi baby, how are you? This time he responds, he says, I'm good, and you, with an exclamation mark. She then responds immediately after saying, not well, but ndizoba right, basically meaning not well, but I'll be okay. But you can see from this interaction, from 5 o'clock until 10 o'clock, she was waiting for a reply, allowing her to go have supper with her family. So this is the level of control we're talking about. But on the initial video, like I already said, I go through more of these WhatsApp messages and I paint a better picture of how manipulative Major was. Because the relationship had panned over 17 years, he had managed to completely control her. The relationship didn't seem all too bad if you were on the outside outside looking in because Major was constantly showering her with gifts. He bought her luxury German cars and she was able to go on holidays often. However, it was at a terrible price. Well, how was Major able to afford all of this? Well, he was, I put it in inverted commas, that he was a respected entrepreneur and businessman in Umtata, member of the African National Congress, has access to a lot of resources. And it's important to note that Major was not just violent towards Namhla. In 2018, he was implicated in a case where he is said to have taken the life of one of his employees while he injured another. He got bail in 2018. That case is still pending till this day. The last time he appeared in court for those charges was in 2022. Take from that what you will. We are definitely talking about someone with a lot of power, a lot of resources, and a lot of connections. In 2022, Namhla was 34 years old, and at this point, she was slowly trying to remove herself from the situation. And I believe that Major realized that, and you can see her intentions of moving herself out from these messages that Namhla sent to her sister. It says, 17 years disloyal ku Major, respecting my body, ndingafuni ukuhlekisa uMajor. But this is the thank you that I get. Ndimnyamezele uMajor. I was there for him ekelwe umfazi. Ungamnandanga. I supported him throughout. Ndimnyamezele. Ndimcela kakuhle uMajor uba sihlukane. Ndiyamkhulula uba ahamba ayotshata. Mna andikwazi usamkela isigqibo sakhe somtshato. Uthi kum ndifuna uyotyiwa. Ready ukukhululela enye indoda. Ipain endiyenzileyo kuku. And then unfortunately the sister had cancelled out what was written there. But the gist of the messages here is that she'd been with Major for 17 years old, respecting Major and respecting her body and herself. And she feels like the thank you that she gets is that Major now is going to go marry someone else. Says that she was there for Major when Major's wife was apparently cheating, supported Major when the wife had done that. She also then mentions that she's now tired. She wants to move on, and Major is basically saying no. The reason Namhla wants to leave him is because she wants to go sleep with other men. It just tells you that Namhla was slowly starting to see the reality of this relationship. There was no relationship and there was a lot of control. And I don't think Major took well to this new Namhla who could speak out for herself and who could stand up for herself. I don't think Major took this well. In 2022, Namhla had moved back home to be closer with her family. Remember, she was not allowed to go home, even for dinner, but by 2022, she had then moved home completely. So you can just see that Major was slowly losing his control over Namhla. On the 21st of April, 2022, tragically, on her way back from work, seconds after driving her car into her aunt's house, a man fired at her 9 times through her window, and unfortunately, she instantly lost her life. Thanks to Namhla's sister, who shared multiple WhatsApp messages that were between Namhla and Major, the whole case went viral, and a lot of people called for justice for Namhla. At the time, the Minister of Police was Begekele, who went down to Umtata. A special task team was put together to look into the case. Hopes were high that within no time an arrest will be made, but unfortunately, it was not so. A year had passed since Namhla had passed away, and nothing seemed to be moving. The police minister, who was asked to give updates on the case, constantly assured the public that the case is not closed and is being handled.
Namhla case is one case that has given us a lot of difficulty. The case is not closed. Maybe is one of those cases when you say you can't tell exactly, even when you know where it is. It's a question of you're running away from it. It's a difficult case. It's a case that many people have questioned it correctly so, but it's a case that we're still pursuing. It's a case where when it happens that you get somebody, there should be no withdrawal, there should be no withdrawal of the case, postponing the case and all that. The case, as you speak, is being investigated, but is investigated with prosecutors now, so that by the time it goes to court, is a tight court. There are things that are giving problem to the case. Maybe it would be good not to talk about those things, even within the system of justice system.
More time had passed, and at this point, Namhla's sister Sanga had to go into hiding because we all know what happens to whistleblowers in South Africa, and she had put out so much incriminating evidence against Major and was getting threats left, right, and center. She's actually still getting threats till this day. Make sure to put up some of the threats that she's getting on the screen. So till this day, she's still getting threats. So at that point, she was left with absolutely no other choice but to go into hiding because nothing was moving with the case. It had completely gone cold. Whoever was threatening Sanga seemed to also be threatening other people within close proximity to the case. So what had happened was a brigadier from Limpopo had been appointed to go down to Umtata to investigate the case. The whole point of this was that take someone else from a different province, bring them down to the Eastern Cape to investigate the case so that they're not influenced by whatever is happening in Umtata. These people will not be biased towards anyone. They would not be taking money from people they don't know from Umtata. That was the whole idea behind taking someone from Limpopo to go down to the Eastern Cape. However, this person was not bribed or paid or done anything to, but instead they were threatened to a point of which they were like, I'm removing myself from this case. Thank you very much. It's a bit too dangerous for me. And that happened continuously. About 6 investigating officers have been appointed to this case since 2022. It's now 2025. All 6 of them had said, no thanks. For one reason or the other, all of them have said no thank you to the case and they've stepped down. As if all of that is not enough, sources also say that there are some missing statements from the docket. So in essence, Namhla Mtwa's case is completely cold. There have been absolutely no arrests, meaning absolutely no one has been charged with taking Namhla Mtwa's life, with all the evidence that we have. So what is happening in 2025? In the past 2 months, the family has tried to revive public interest and have spoken out to newspapers as well as news channels. And this is Namhla's aunt speaking to the SABC just a month ago.
And I heard her coming in on the gate. She was opening the gate and she came in, but she couldn't even switch off the car. The only thing I heard was that bam. And so much that I thought it was hitting the garage. When I opened the door, it's breaking our hearts. It's breaking our hearts. It's killing us. The whole family. The whole family. It's even worse, but now it's 2025. There's nothing. There's nothing, there are no arrests. There are nothing, we don't know nothing. We are just in the dark. We are in the dark. The investigators, they will come and go, come and go, come and go. They are being changed every now and again. You don't even get the proper report about what is happening. So in our government, in our country, if you are a victim, it's woe unto you. You have to clean yourself just like a snow, knowing that nothing is going to happen. Nothing is going to happen. In so much that, you know, when you are looking at people taking law on their hands, you say, maybe it's better like that. Because if you go to the police, nothing is happening.
Sanga, the sister, has just recently done an interview with the ANCA. Till this day, like I've already mentioned, she's still getting threats, threatening her to stop speaking about the case or else she will be next. The only positive thing that has happened recently is the Eastern Cape Police have put out a notice that they are offering 200,000 rands reward to anyone who has information that would lead to an arrest and prosecution of that person. I will make sure that I put all the details on the screen regarding emails or a number you can contact, because what I'm sure of, somewhere, someone knows what happened. Either someone told you or someone said, actually, I was the one who was paid to go do this to Namhla, because chances are, and this is allegedly, if, and I stress if, Major had anything to do with this case, didn't do it himself. He probably paid someone to do it. Someone out there knows something. And that's why it's important to put these type of rewards so that someone snitches. We need more whistleblowers. So I think that's the only important thing that has happened recently. Even more recent as yesterday, at the time that I'm recording this video, Zanga put out a statement on her Facebook. And this is what it says. For my safety, sanity, and peace, I decided to let go fighting for my late sister's justice. I am giving up on getting any help from the South African Police Services. I have tried everything in me. My heart cannot take it anymore. I can't. I've had it. I am feeling it. I am suffering for it. I am compromised for it. I am crashing out for it. I have reached the end. I can't be living a life like this. I am not a thug. I have a life to live. I have a child to live for. I haven't done anything wrong. I just wanted my sister, Sengwa MTWA, to get the justice she deserves. I had given up on everything, running away from my normal life. I had to fight to get to where I am today, only for that to be taken away from me again. This is the last time that I'm doing this, and I'm letting whoever that is after me win. I am defeated. I no longer have the strength in me to put on the fight. The feeling I felt fighting for my life alone and the thought of what could have happened to me was the last straw. I'm tired of asking for help. I'm tired of always expecting the worst thing to happen to me. All I wanted was my sister to get the justice she deserves. I tried everything in me. I really did, and today ndiyangama basically meaning I'm giving up. Noko amandla wam aphelile ngoku. All my strength is finished now. I am handing over Namhla's case to God. The only justice I'm waiting for now is from Uyehova. I am giving up on getting any help from the South African Police Services. Gogo's statement ndawuze ndiphinde ndisibhale ngoNamhla. Kungekho nepolisa elinophinda indive ndibuza nge-progress of the case. Basically saying that there's no other statement that I'll ever put out about Namhla, and there's no other police that I will call asking for progress of the case. It took the whole of me to take this decision. Let me go and leave my pain in peace. I have suffered enough. And that is the statement from Sanga, Namhla's sister. I truly believe the statement is coming from a place of disappointment in the justice system in general. How it's just failing the family. It really broke my heart just to even read that statement. I think as far as we can, what we can all do together is try and tell Namhla's story as much as we can. We must just all continue demanding for justice for her. And hopefully justice delayed is not justice denied when it comes to this case. And it's one of the reasons why I decided that this is the best time to do this video. And hopefully she's going to finally get the justice that she deserves. Sometimes updates are not going to be updates on how the case was finalized and there was a verdict. Hopefully one day I'll come back with this exact case and say, so-and-so was arrested. But for today, I'm not saying that. Today, though, I'm saying let's share Namhla's story. Let's ask for justice. Let us demand justice for Namhla. That's where I'll be ending today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.